Hey there, welcome to CNT Collectibles. I'm C. Hope you're doing well. All right, today we're going to go over some impact Major League prospects and players that are considered to still be rookies for the 2023 season. Had a few people reach out and ask if I would go over my thoughts on the minor leaguers. Not my forte, but I really appreciate the people that asked, thinking I know enough about baseball to do something like this. So I like to go for more established guys typically, but having been in dynasty baseball leagues over the past few decades, I do have a decent knowledge of the minor league landscape, and we'll see what we can come up with here. So the only thing I can guarantee is the players that I rattle off today. Some of them may have an impact, a lot of them won't. It's a bit of a crapshoot, but let's have some fun with it and see what we see here. So I've got about 13 names here, and we'll start off with Daniel Espino, starting pitcher for Cleveland. He's entering his age 22 season. He's got a nasty fastball slider combination with decent command, a 50 level command here, future value of 60. He's had some injuries, but it shouldn't derail him for this year. He could be a late season call up if we look at his minor league numbers. I like looking at the AA and AAA numbers here. Strikeout per nine, 17, walking sub 2 per nine for a 45% strikeout to walk ratio, which is insane. If you see the best of the best in baseball, you'll talk about Max Scherzer and Cy Young level of the year, maybe he gets up to 40%. Anything above 20 is very good. Above 30 is elite. 45% is unheard of. When he comes up, he should make an impact, and maybe out of the bullpen at first. But this is a player that could change the game down the stretch for the Tribe. All right, Andrew Painter, starting pitcher for Philadelphia, entering his age 20 season. Maybe a little bit young to make a huge dent this year. A lot of pitchers come up 23, 24 for the most part, but he looks ready here. He's got good command, fastball slider combo, 60 on the 20/80 scale here. Nice curve as well. Future value of 60. He walks under 1 per 9, which is huge. If you can come up and keep guys from getting free passes, you've got a shot to stick in the big leagues. That strikeout to walk combination, 32%, which is, again, elite level stuff. I don't know how Philadelphia, if they're contending, keeps this kid down. Again, a lot of these pitchers, they may come up and they may come out of the bullpen, but it could be an impact before they move to the starting rotation in the next year or two. Yuri Perez, starting pitcher for Miami, 6'8", so he's got the leverage behind him, and he uses it to a great effect here. Fastball slider combination, 70-60 with an excellent changeup. Young player, if you can mix speeds, you can pitch in the majors. 70 command, that's what you need to do. Don't walk people. Future value of 65. A lot of people are excited about this kid in AA. He's had a 26% strikeout to walk combination with a huge strikeout percentage. The walk rate is a little bit higher than you want to see for somebody with elite level command, but because he's throwing some of these other pitches with the slider and the changeup, those aren't always going to be strikes, so he's getting outs on those types of pitches, and sometimes they get taken. We'll see what the big leaguers do with them, but he could be just that height and that length. It could be extremely scary. All right, Anthony Volpe, shortstop, New York Yankees. He's entering his age 22 season. He will have a chance to compete for the job on opening day, but it may be later in the season before he actually gets the call. He's got a great hit tool, got some good, equally good game power. His speed right in the average that average major leaguer. Every time you go up from 50 to 60, it's a standard deviation. Once you get up to 80, you've basically accomplished all achievable outcomes here. So that's why they cut that scale off at 80. Fielding a little below average, so he may find his way over to second base. We'll have to watch what they do with Gleyber Torres before or during the season on this one. Future value of 60. Last year he spent most of his time in AA with a little taste of AAA. And he had a decent home run profile, 110 games. He had 18 home runs, managed a reasonable walk and strikeout ratio, walked over 10% of the time, which is good, struck out less than 20% of the time, which is very good as well. Managed a 251 average at that AA level on lower BABIP than he typically has. Went the other way in AAA where he had a higher BABIP with a lower average, so the contact was perhaps a little bit weaker, and he increased those strikeouts. And so monster stolen base numbers here, so this could be a speedy power guy, and this does make him a pretty high-level prospect. However, again, where are we going to play him at the beginning of the season? He'll have to really stand out in spring training or wait for an opening on that one. Otherwise, he'd be much higher on the list. Jose Rodriguez, entering his age 22 season as a middle infielder for the Chicago White Sox. Excellent hit tool, not a lot of power to his name. Future value of 45, but he may get a stop, may be coming up kind of early, and so this is why he could be more of an impact, even though he's not one of the highest rated prospects on the board here. And we can see this. His strikeout and walk ratios are elite. So if you can get around 10 on both here, he could stand to walk a little bit more, but a 13% strikeout rate, which he's been able to maintain throughout most of his minor league experience, is pretty terrific stuff. A 280 hitter. dominated in high A with a 360 average, and so he should be able to come up. He should hit right away, and we'll see how this plays out if he can get a chance. Not a lot of power there, so this will be another player that have more impact on the real diamond than the fantasy or the hobby diamond for the most part. But that bat will play at any level. George Valera, outfielder for your Cleveland Guardians, age 22 season. Another guy that has some pretty decent power. Not much of a hit tool here. The raw power and the game power are at elevated levels here. Decent speed, fielding average, future value of 50, but I think he'll get a chance to come up and produce AAA, AA. Not the greatest last year here. 260 here, 221 average, but the home runs. Looking at the upwards of a 25-30 home run guy for the most part here. So there's some swing and miss to his game, as you would expect with someone that can have that level of power. The walks are nice as well, so that could keep him out of prolonged slumps for the most part. But this is one of the more highly rated prospects for the Guardians, and we'll see if he can sneak his way into the lineup and hit a few home runs and play some decent outfield for them in the Central. Ezekiel Tolbert, shortstop for Colorado, got a little bit of a taste last year. Didn't exceed the rookie threshold, so he'll still be a rookie this year. And what he's able to do is hit pretty well with decent fielding. Not a lot of game power, and we can see that in his home runs over in his isolated power in the minor leagues. Decent average, a really, really nice average in Double and Triple A last year. We kind of discount that. It's a small sample size, so he should be able to come up, play some good defense. Again, probably more real life relevant than fantasy relevant. But this is the player that could get some love heading into the season. So again, with a lot of these guys, be mindful of what they are going to do during the season. The people that hit without a lot of power, they don't get a ton of love once the rubber meets the road. But leading up to it, a lot of people certainly could get excited. Now, if you want power, here's your guy, Jordan Walker, outfielder for the St. Louis Cardinals. So he was a third baseman, but they seem to be set at third base. They feel comfortable there, so they moved him to the outfield, and we could see him this year. He's entering his age 21 season. And in 119 games in Double A last year, he hit 19 home runs with a very reasonable strikeout rate. People that are hitting 19, 20, 30 home runs typically will have a 25% to 30% strikeout rate. He does not have that, and he can take a walk with a high average. Dude can hit game power, raw power, elite. Off the boards, there's no one better. Reasonable speed. His fielding is all right, and his future value of 60 puts him above average. So we'll see how his game translates to the majors if they can find a spot for him in that St. Louis outfield. But when he comes up, he could start smacking the ball around like no one else. Grayson Rodriguez, starting pitcher for the Baltimore Orioles, is entering his age 23 season, and he's about as ready as it gets here. So in AAA last year, sported a 28% strikeout to walk ratio. Again, we're looking at elite level stuff. Kept his fielding independent pitching below that 2 number there. So he controlled what he can control, and he did it very, very well here. So the strikeout walk ratio, this is major league stuff here. He was handling AAA like he's been there for a long time, and he really hasn't. He just had a few starts there, and so we'll see what happens when he comes up. But again, nasty fastball slider combination with an excellent changeup, not a better changeup again. Mix those speeds up, future value of 60. We'll see him this year if all goes according to plan. Francisco Alvarez, catcher for the New York Mets, entering his age 21 season, Double A and Triple A. Did all right. He's a catcher that has some thump, and so we're not looking for a lot of batting average out of that here. He's got a good isolated power. The home runs are there. The walk and strikeout rate, he can take a walk. There's no question about it. But he's got some swing and miss to his game as well. But behind the plate, we'll let that slide a little bit as long as the defense is good. He had a little taste of the majors last year. We'll kind of throw that aside as he only had 14 plate appearances. But his profile was in line with what he has done in the past. Discount the average, no isolated power, very low BABIP. Or the isolated power is very good, but very low BABIP. And so we'll see what we can get out of him for a full season, but we should see some power, that raw power of 70 and that game power of 60. Again, not looking for speed or anything like that, but there could be some thump to his bat, and the Mets could be extremely irrelevant next season. Corbin Carroll, outfielder for the Arizona Diamondbacks, entering his age 22 season in Double A and Triple A. Lights out type level stuff here. An excellent hit tool, and that translated to the field with a nice average. 313 at Double A, 287 at Triple A, and in 115 plate appearances last year, he was a 260 hitter with 130 weighted runs created. 140, I think, is the cutoff for rookies, and so he still fits into that rookie profile. I am cheating here. Excellent hit tool, decent power. This is the fastest guy in the major leagues, and so he's going to have a high BABIP, but he's going to be able to maintain that excellent fielder, future value of 60. Player that I think a lot of people are excited about, but again, if you're a speedy outfielder with a high average and without power, temper the expectations on card prices. But in rotisserie, in fantasy leagues, he could be a valuable asset overall. And we'll wind it up with Gunnar Henderson, third baseman for the Baltimore Orioles, entering his age 22 season. In the minors, he was a beast. He had a 312 average in Double-A in 2022, 288 average in Triple-A last year, with very good walk rates, reasonable strikeout rates. And when he came up to the majors, he had 132 plate appearances. So again, he's just shy of that rookie cutoff here. Decent walk rate. Strikeout rate, we'd like to see him bring that down a little bit here, but at a 55 hit tool, that's maybe how it goes. 4 home runs. So if he's going to have a 25% strikeout rate, we want to see more home runs. So we'll see how he handles that this year. But he did manage a 259 average on a 333 BABIP. Again, 126 weighted runs created, 0.8 WAR in just 34 games. And so this is probably going to be your early season favorite for Rookie of the Year. He will have the full season to put up some numbers. Again, with decent game power and a decent hit tool, a decent field, he at least has a spot, and that's what we're looking for this year. If we're looking for an impact 2023 rookie or prospect who's going to come up right away, who's going to have a spot all year, the Orioles are bringing up some young talent, and he is the cornerstone of that. So that's what I got for you. I hope you enjoyed. Please like, subscribe, all that kind of good stuff, and we'll talk to you later. Bye.